This is the EuroStepping.
My name is Kristiyan Stavrev. I'm from Bulgaria. I graduated from Eckerd College, and I'm 24 years old.
Okay, glad for you to join us this afternoon. You've got a really interesting story of how you got to the States and how what your whole college career. So would you like to tell us about your journey?
Of course. See, I'm from Bulgaria, which is in Europe. I had to find my way because I decided when I was maybe like 10th grade or 11th grade that I wanted to go to the States. At first my thoughts were going to high school there, maybe graduating high school from the States, so I can have a better option, a better opportunity to go to a college or a university. But that didn't work out. I just didn't find the right opportunities, or call it as you wish. That's how I ended up at Myerscough in England, the year after I graduated high school here in Bulgaria. And that's basically how I got my opportunities. I just found a person like Neil who had some contact in the States. He had sent one other person before me to the States to play there in Division One. So, that's that was that was the person who helped me out with getting there. I want to say that I got a little lucky with my whole situation because as the process was going with me going to the States, at first I was supposed to go to a community college. That kind of didn't work out. I guess, I don't know, maybe the documents weren't right or something. I believe that something just fell apart from their side, and I was not considered anymore. So a few weeks later, I had a offer from a D2 school in Florida, and I verbally committed there. I was hyped up to go there, but my dream was always to play Division One NCAA. So a few weeks went by, and then Neil told me there was the EABL finals, and I guess that was right before the final game. Neil told me that a D1 school is gonna watch me play. I guess they like me, they want to see me play, and they were considering offering me. So that's how I got my Division One offer. I never took a visit or anything, which was something that is out of the ordinary when when you're in the States, when you graduate high school in the States, you always are entitled to go and visit the school beforehand, see if you like it or not. But just with the situation, the fact that I was from Europe, it was kind of a last minute thing. I didn't have no opportunity to go on a visit, but that was fine with me because I was ready to jump in the dark. As long as it was what I was dreaming for, I was okay. I'm going there, And then I committed to Weber State University. That was in Ogden, Utah, maybe like 30 minutes from Salt Lake City, which is the capital.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it would have? Sorry. Do you think it would have made a difference if you had a visit? Do you think if you went to Weber State, it would have changed your mind? You would have said no or yes? Or...
No, I believe that visits are very, very helpful when you have a lot of options and you're trying to wait them out. You kind of go and the school is actually trying to present themselves in their best way for you, and you can even bring your family, and you see the campus life, the sporting activities, whatever you want. They just take you around. You meet everybody. You meet the coaches. You meet the staff. You meet everybody that you should know. And you can definitely make an easier decision if you have a lot of options. Rather than just going through their websites or just looking at pictures. I believe that they're helpful. I would probably not change my mind just because it was my only option to go to a Division 1 school,
D1. Okay.
and that was what I wanted. Like ultimately, that's what I was dreaming for, and that was my goal. So, I did it, and I'm glad I did it because it was, the school was, the campus was beautiful. The it was in Utah, which was a little bit of a culture shock. It was different. It was a huge school, but I would not have changed my mind. Nothing.
Okay. And then following your time in Weber State, what happened and what transpired?
Well, going into Weber State, I was like very motivated to do my thing. I was ready to grind. That went on for like maybe 3 months until like December, and I broke my foot. I broke my ankle in practice. So I had to sit out. I had a cast on me. I still like I was trying to still get better, even if it's just like just getting into the weight room. I was still like putting in a lot of work to get back on track. Um, it lasted maybe like 4 months until I started playing again. I started getting back into it. Um, and that summer, which was between my freshman and my sophomore year, well, I actually took a redshirt year, which is basically sitting a year out because of medical issues, which is an injury. Um, and that summer, which was between my first and my second year, we had training camps, which we like most schools do. It's a way for you to like make some money, stay around, like help out with kids camps. You still put in some work. You still with the guys with your team. You practice, and you have those kids camps, and they're like early in the morning. So we were grinding all week, and it was like a Thursday. I was just exhausted. We go straight from camp, we eat lunch, sitting down in the gym, and then we go straight to the weight room. And then after the weight room, we go back to the gym and we start practicing. And I was just exhausted at that point, and I believe that we had like a warm up, which was very like short, and everybody was tired, and we went straight into 1-on-1, and we start playing, and my knee just pops out of place. I tore my ACL, and that's when I really got mad. That wasn't I definitely didn't approach that injury the way I approached my first one. I was out maybe for like 9 months because I had some complications. I got the surgery done. 6 months went by. The doctor had told me that 6 months or 7 months were enough. And then when I was at 7 months, my knee was still hurting. So I went and got an x-ray. I had like a little like parts of cartilage still floating around my knee. So I had to get that out of there. And it kind of it was a long process. It took me about like 9 months for me to get back into playing. So at that point, I was kind of behind because, Division 1 is really a high level. All the guys were very athletic, very physical. I believe if it wasn't for the injuries, I would definitely have a chance to compete and to play at that level. But that really set me behind, and like, I had talks with my coach where he was like, it's up to me at that point. What do I want to do? He even offered me for me to stay there and just study and help out with the team without actually, still being on scholarship. Or, he told me if I want to go somewhere else, he would like support it if that's what I wanted. And I had really down on myself. I was in my head. I was ready to end it almost because, I was by myself on the other side of the world. I was there to play basketball, and I did not get the chance to play basketball for like almost 2 years. So now it's like, okay, what I'm doing, is it worth it? So I had to just think it through. I had to go through whatever I went through, and I decided that I wanted to keep playing. So I decided that I was going to transfer. I put my documents, my transfer papers in. Uh, when you step in the States, when you already like get that kind of exposure, I feel like it makes a world of difference. Me as a kid from Bulgaria, we did not get that kind of exposure. You go to a game in the States and you have coaches from all over the state. You have people from all over the country coming to watch you play. Like the word spreads very quickly. If you're good, you're good, and everybody knows it. Well, if you're somewhere in Europe, you have to really like you have to
Be outstanding.
You have to be outstanding, and you need to make that like you need to make a lot of noise for somebody in the States for you to recognize.
Yeah, I got you.
So when I was already in Division One, as soon as I put my transfer papers out, I just started getting calls from like community colleges, Division Two, like all kinds of just schools from all over the place. It wasn't Division Ones or anything because I did not prove myself to be a Division.
That level, I got you.
I didn't get the chance to play as much, but I still had a lot of options, and one of the options was Eckerd College, which is in St. Petersburg, Florida. Obviously, Florida caught my attention because it's a state where it's, just Florida. It just sounds good.
I got you.
It sounds attractive. Yeah. I was between. I had an offer from a school in Kentucky, and that was maybe like one of my options, like that I considered, and then that option from Florida came in for D2, and I made my decision to go there. I just talked to the coach. He seemed interested. He wanted to know like what's my situation. I told him about like the injuries. He spoke with my my physical therapist that we were staying. Like he was trying to see where I was standing. Like as of like recovery, blah blah. He gave me the opportunity to go on a visit. So I actually visited that school. I went on like a 2-day visit. They take you around campus. They work out with you. They do a lot of things. They even put me on a boat. I went on a boat ride.
Okay. You went on a boat ride. Okay. Captain Kiko, I see you.
They went all. So I just like the vibes over there. I just felt like it was a place where I can regain that love for basketball that I kind of have lost before that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like the right place to do it. Florida is different than Utah. Definitely, it's like the two sides of the spectrum. You asked me about weather. I had in Utah you have like snowstorms and like blizzards and stuff. Florida, it's just hot. It's hot and humid. So I was literally on both sides of the spectrum when it comes to that. But I decided that the change of environment would let me, regain the love for basketball and actually, motivate me to do what I was supposed to do in the first place.
Okay, and can you let us know what level Eckerd College was or is? Sorry.
Eckerd College is a Division II school in the Sunshine State Conference.
Okay, cool.
One of the best conferences for Division II.
Okay. What was the league like in terms of or the conference, should I say? What was the conference play like? Was it a big league? Was it, full of was it great guards? Was it up tempo?
It was very up tempo. A lot of athletic guys. We had teams that could easily go as mid-major D1s. As like if I'm being honest, there were teams that could compete in the D1 mid-major level. It was very athletic. We had our team, especially, we had good guards, and we had one of the best forwards. He was like maybe a 6'5", but very like heavy dude that would just like get rebound and score on everybody. So we had a very good you know, a good team, and that's why we actually won the conference the first year. Um, it was it was hard, you know. It was very physical
Mhm.
compared to D1. You know, D1 is different just because of the amount of, you know, the talent that goes in there, and the size that people have in D1. You know, it's different than a D1, but it was still like a team that could compete.
And what did you? I mean, playing for Weaver State, even in the practices, how did that compare between, the practices at D2? Was there a lot of difference, or was it just literally the physical? Was it just the athletes that was different, or was it the game style, or what was the difference between the two?
I would say that is athletes, definitely, because I was faced with like one of the best players that played for Weber State, and he was playing in my spot. So my first year, I had to guard him like every single practice, and I just used to get banged on like every single practice. You know, it was just how it is. Like he got drafted after that, so I guess my point is proved. But you know, I was faced with some guys that were really like at a high level that I did not see in D2. But when it comes to like tempo and physicality, you know, yeah, the guys might be like bigger or like anything stronger, but like I feel like tempo wise or just competition wise, it was pretty much the same. Like we still like went all out in practices, and like we still like did a lot of competing stuff.
Okay, well, fair enough. So you've just graduated. Congrats. What helped you to study, graduate, and still allowed you to play the games?
Just discipline. Honestly, it's something that you need to have if you're being a student athlete. You need to learn to manage your time. You need to be on point with stuff like that. um I actually did pretty good at Eckerd College. Last semester I had all A's. You know, I was not. It was
Okay.
yeah. You know, I
Is
tried
it
to. You know,
like work?
light work. I tried to just get stuff done. You know, it's not like it's most of the time it's not something that is like out of like it's not something you're not capable of. You know, is you just got to find the right resources. And I kind of like later in my years in school, I found out that people are willing to help you if you just show up and ask them for help. You know, even if it's like teachers or if it's coaches, it don't matter if it's like school or athletics. If you go out there and just be honest with them, just be like, professor, this assignment is just not, I just don't understand it. I need your help. And he will sit down and he will actually take the time of his day to sit down and help you out with whatever you need. And that's basically how I just began like figuring like stuff out. If there was something that I didn't know or I needed help with, I would just show up to the office hours and I just stay there and be like, yo, I need help with this, that. I've even done that like the day of a test. You know, I just went in his office before the test, and I was like, yo, I need help with all these, and then all of them went on the test, and then Kiko got the best score in the classroom. I was like, you know,
You're like 1 to 20. I need answers. Come on, I need answers. 1 to 20. Come
right?
on.
Something like it, but if you know, because they give you study guides or anything, so it's not like it's something like it's easy to figure out once you know what's gonna be on the test. You need to just go in there and ask for help. You know, I believe that's what helped me graduate with like a very very good GPA.
What are some study hacks that you use? So, what vices? I know you mentioned about getting with people or going in just before a test, but were there any? I don't want to say shortcuts, but was there anything that you was like, look, this is the formula to my success? So, was there anything in particular?
Other than the things that I just mentioned, just getting help from like professors, it was finding friends in your classroom, even because, you know, I never had money for like the books that they wanted me to have. There was like books that cost 200 and something dollars. I didn't have that kind of money to just spend on one semester. So I always try to find like friends in the classroom or anything, just be open about it or just talk to them and just be like, yo, like, well, I know we got this homework. Can you just send me a picture of the page or just to send me like, can I borrow the book for tonight or just something, when you're in a campus and when you have like this kind of community, it's very easy to like talk to people and like to your peers and be like, just be straight up, just, ask
Sure.
for stuff like that.
Makes sense. So you went to my school before you went out to Weber State. You spoke about you being in Bulgaria before and playing as a youth there. So I'm assuming, not the fact that I know when your time at my school, but you had different roles, between Bulgaria, England, and then you get to Weber State. How did you deal with the change of roles? You had a bigger role when you were back home in Bulgaria, and then you come to England, and you're still one of the featured players. And then how did that change from being a featured player, being one of the guys, to now your new role in your next two schools?
Yeah, so it's kind of it is adapting because you need to figure out what the coach sees in you and what part of the team you represent in the eyes of the coach, because he has put together a team and in his mind every person has their own role, so that adaptation happens with you talking to your coaches or them talking to you. Sometimes, you need to go over there and be like, coach, I need to do better, and I need to know what do you see me doing out on the floor? Like what do you want me to do? And sometimes the thing that they'll say is do what you do best, So I was good at shooting, and that kind of changed my role to, as you said, like as being one of the featured players to becoming more of a shooter or becoming a stretch forward to kind of like spread the floor for other people to maybe like go to the basket, which are better at that than me. So I became more of a shooter than anything else. Uh, there's two things that don't change, even if you're a shooter or if you're a driver, you need to rebound and defend. So that's kind of like a thing that doesn't change.
I like
That's
that.
that's a role that does not change in any position you play.
Defend the ball and rebound. Hey, trust me, I know. Who are the best players that you played against, or with? I know you spoke about somebody getting drafted. What was his name? What
Uh,
was
his name is Joe Bolomboy. He was a player at Weber State University. He ended up getting drafted by the Utah Jazz, but then I believe he plays in Moscow now in
Okay.
CSK Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I consider him one of the most athletic players that I've played against because I practiced with him and we played like against each other. I have another one of my favorite players that I like to watch, and his style of play was he was in the same team. His name is Jeremy Senglin. He plays in the first league in France right now. Um, I've played against like you know a lot of teams, but I can't just mention like somebody that's like mad famous right now. I met Damien Lillard.
Don't want to name drop. I got you, man. You ain't trying to reveal. I hear you.
I know you. Yeah.
That's funny. Um, with the knowledge that you have now, if you was to redo the whole process, what three things would you do coming into college?
Okay, that's a good question. Um, maybe I want to say they just even socially or even just being around like a team or anything, just just take things more lightly. Not to the point where you're like careless, but definitely you need to build up that kind of that cockiness. But even if it's not backed up all the way, it needs to be to a certain point where you're not just somebody that you know um just so people don't see you as somebody who's not worthy to be there or anything else. Because I've always been like self-aware of myself, and I've always known when I what I can do and my spot. But when you go into a place like in the States where like people love to hype up stuff, people love to like talk shit, people love to just to be, you know, make it like a show,
Yeah.
So I guess just being like a little more, still focused on yourself, still focused on your mission or anything, but just being a little more less like attentive to what other people say or do, or just just stay on your own path and just you keep doing what you're doing. Just don't take other people's like opinions or anything else that serious, because they don't mean it always, and they might be like they might be your friends one day and then go tell like something that's a little sketchy to somebody the next day, but that doesn't mean anything. That's something that people just take just just do. It's not it shouldn't be taken that serious.
I got you. Anything else in particular?
um I want to say just be like social, just meet as many people as you can, just because you get the opportunity to be around people that you never know what they're gonna be one day, and that's connections that are valuable. I kind of started doing that later in my years of college, but I could have definitely like be a little more, just talkative, even if it's to like professors or peers, like classmates, or I mean teammates. I can't say that I haven't talked to them, because we're a team and like we've been like together like most of the
Like every day, all day, kind of thing.
yeah, but like just, there's a lot of people. Don't just focus on like a little group of people. Like just because you're in a team, it doesn't mean that those should be your only friends in school. Just go out there, like meet some new people, like meet some people on the golf team, or just meet somebody that you never even talked to before. It doesn't matter. Like you should expand your like your connections outside of that.
Network.
Yeah, your network.
Expand your network. Okay, I got you. That's a nice one. I like that. Broadens your horizons. You look at
Yeah, definitely.
different things. You learn different things. So yeah, I guess that's a great point to have. What's the best part of playing in America?
See, for me, it's just different. Is the culture of basketball there is different. It's almost I say that basketball in America is not a sport, it's a religion almost. It's people like worship it. It's something that is like coming from Bulgaria, where like people like this is a like mostly a soccer country, if you want to call it, or whatever. Like this, like it's a whole like culture change. You go to the States and like you see like masses of people just going to the game just to watch you play. You see how much money is put into every single part of the process of the basketball game, even if it's for like the athletic department, from the gym to the shoes to the gear to the lockers to the floor to the person who's doing your laundry to the to the physical therapist who's taping you every day with like this is a lot of things that are how should I say they're just invested in it a lot more, and I believe that that's one of the things that I love most about it, because it's kind of I was doing the same thing here. Like I was still playing basketball, but then you go there and you're still doing the same thing, but there's a lot more attention to it, added, like a lot more attention added to it, and it was a lot more, money put into it, and it just makes you feel better. You go to a gym and the floor is squeaky clean. You can look at yourself on the hardwood. It's different. It's a different feeling. Honestly, it's not like I believe that.
Looking at your reflection all the time, like, damn, there I go.
I mean, I'm just like you say, this is a lot. It just means a lot to a basketball player for you to have everything that you could ever like need for you to be successful at it. Especially at Division 1 school. It's like this is literally the focus of your school. It was almost as they were trying to make student athletes have everything that they need for them to succeed.
All under one roof kind of thing. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move slightly off the basketball side of things. So you was in Utah and in Florida. What was the weather like in your town, city? America's so big, so to say the whole of Utah is maybe not fair and the whole of Florida is not too, but within those towns where you were, what was the weather like, and what's the best clothing to wear and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, first of all, Utah was kind of a mountainy place. Like my campus was really in the mountains. So first, the altitude was a lot. So the first practice you go there, your chest hurts like you feel it. I did not believe it was gonna be like it because I live in Bulgaria where it's not like we're at sea level. Like we still have mountains over here, but they were not lying when they said your chest is gonna hurt the first practice you come over there, and I'm over there struggling. But Utah is it's seasonal. The summer and the spring is really nice. You can have sunny days and you have really nice days. But wintertime, it'll really get snowy some days, and you'll go to bed, it will not be in an inch of snow outside, and then you wake up and it's snow up to your knees, and you're like, what's this? And definitely warm clothes over there. Something that will keep you warm, jackets and everything. When it comes to Florida is the opposite when it comes to the temperature. The lowest it will get, I still use Celsius. I don't know, but the lowest it will get will probably be 12 degrees in the mid-winter. At 5 a.m. in the morning, but still be okay with just a hoodie or something. And the summer, it just gets disgusting. It's just
disgusting. I ain't never heard the ever been described as disgusting.
It's just I just walk out. I walk out of the room and you're sweating already. It's just humid. It's bad. I was struggling just because in Florida they tend to, every time you're somewhere inside, the AC is just blowing like ice, and then you go outside and it's just hot. So
it just hit you.
Yeah, so my temperature is not used to that, So the first year I was there, I got sick 3 times in a row, just because I was trying to manage, but I'm sweating outside and then I went and the AC is just blowing cold air. And I was there, I was just trying to adjust, but I couldn't just because I was trying to.
There was no constant. Okay.
Yeah, there was no constant temperature, and then so Florida, I would say just there's a lot of rain there over there too, so. Raincoats or anything is maybe the thing that you'll need. Somebody said water boots or anything. I never got those. I do not recommend that just from a fashion sense, but you can do what you want.
Oh, that's hilarious. What about Florida's infamous for tornadoes or hurricanes, tropical storms. Did you experience any of that?
Yes, sir. That was actually my first year in Florida, and schools over there are prepared for that. It's not something that like it's not the first time that it happens or anything. But you start getting an email or you get a text message or anything, yo, there's a hurricane or a tornado watch or anything. I'm like, for me coming from like a different place, it's a little scary. But like people from Florida take it like really lightly. And while I was there, we actually had the Irma. It was a Hurricane Irma, which went through Florida. So we actually had to get evacuated, and I had to, as a person who was international, I had to file like a little form saying that I don't have a place to go. So they actually, they made sure that the people who didn't have any place to go were taken care of. So we actually went to like a place where it was like a resort, but it was made into a shelter for people that like had to like stay there.
Nice.
So yeah, they took care of us, and I mean, there wasn't no like huge damage. I know like a couple of trees were like ripped off the ground, and like the college were like nothing like major, like no building had fallen apart.
Man, that was
people.
crazy.
It's crazy because people from Florida are like, it's nothing.
Nothing, yeah. Everything. It's like, business as usual, and you're like, no, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna just be home with moms. It's okay. I'm like, it's like the line in the news, where they track the path of the hurricane. It's like going right over your house, bro. Like, what do you mean? It's gonna be okay. It's nothing.
Man, I guess once you grow up in it, man. I had the same or similar experience. When I was in Oklahoma, I went one summer, and they had a tornado come through, and man, I was in the house all alone, like the player's house, or whatever, but I was the only one in there, and the building shaking. And I'm like starting to make, like, you get the thing for your mobile, the text alerts, Amber Alert, or whatever the hell it is, and you're like, oh my god, this means I'm gonna die. And like I'm phoning everyone and like, yo, like, do I need to go to the shelter? Like, is everyone in the shelter? Like, coach, you'll be fine, man. You're right. Everyone's out. We're doing our thing. I'm like, no, but the house is moving, and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's okay.
People are
like, I don't know how people just, it's nothing. Right, dealing with jet lag. So, you spoke about the altitude a little bit, but going to and fro, I know it's not that much time. Once you come over, you're over, and then once you go home, you go home. But when you go backwards and forwards, how do you deal with the jet lag? What's the secret of, managing jet lag?
Honestly, I'll just get a flight that lands a little later at night. So like you can land at like 6 p.m., go back to your place or go back to your apartment or whatever you're staying at. Just figure stuff out and just go to bed at a reasonable time. Do not go to bed like midday, just because the process is gonna take a lot longer that way. The time difference was 9 hours with Utah, and it was 7 hours with
Florida.
With Florida, yeah, just between Bulgaria and there,
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something like, I always struggle more just coming back from the States, coming back home, just because the time goes forward and you're like, okay, I just missed a day, and it's like, just go to bed late at night or like at night. That's the secret. Do not sleep during the day.
Make sure you get the right flights to sort you out.
I mean, if you're really trying to like avoid it, because like a flight might take like 24 hours or 26, 27 hours. So if you can thug it out and just stay up until like it's later during the night, go do it.
That's crazy.
I recommend it.
Just soldier it for 24, 25, 26 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Talking about being a part of two different programs, you was in two different cities. What's the big landmarks? What's the points of interest that you wanted to go to, or that you went to, that you think that if if I was going over to, you know, visit Weber State, where should I go and hang out or visit?
I would say so. Weber State is in Ogden, in Utah, but Salt Lake City is one of the most famous cities in Utah, and it's literally like 35 minutes away. That's where like the Jazz play. That's where like everything like is one of the biggest cities. So I would definitely say like Salt Lake City was a place to go and like see like just how life is in Utah. It's different just because Utah is, from a religious standpoint, it has a lot of Mormons, and just socially is a lot different because you like on Sunday nothing works. Just everything is just closed. You go to the mall, it has like the gates locked, but like the church on the other side is just popping. Like everybody's over there. It's like.
So the church is popping. The church is lit on a Sunday in Utah.
The church, they have like a theater going. They have lights. They have like all the people going there, and it's just something they're just something that's part of their culture. So like, I'm used to like here in Bulgaria, like Sunday, like you do whatever you want. Like you can go out, like you can, like go to the mall, or you can see a friend, or you can go whatever. But like there, it's just they take time for like to like appreciate like God and just go to the church or like spend time with their families and like all that.
How far? Sorry to cut you. Yeah. How far is Ogden to Salt Lake?
It was probably 35 minutes away. Like
so you're relatively close. Okay.
Yeah, like it was not a long.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so just and when it comes to Florida, there's a lot different. There's like social life is a lot more, what we're used to as like from a European standpoint. You have like your bars, your clubs, the beach. You have a lot of things that you can do like on an off day. It's not like you're restricted to like only like one certain thing, such as Utah was, but it's still like there's a lot of different things that you can do depending on what you like, I guess.
But where did you go? Where would you recommend me if I was coming to hang out in St. Petersburg for a weekend or whatever? Would you like, okay, coach, go here?
Yeah, so St. Petersburg is a little city that is like turned to a vacation spot in the last like 20 years. Like I heard like 20 years ago, it was a rough spot. And now it's kind of like, it's all like new buildings and like they have like a street with like just bars and like they have this whole block where like they close it for every first Friday of the month. They close off the block and the bars are open like all night. Basically, there's people all over the street just like, just partying, just going around, just socializing, doing whatever. There's like cinemas there. Like it's a very pretty town too, so you can like actually walk around, just it's right by the beach, like right by the water, so you can see like boats and stuff coming in and out of the town. It's pretty, definitely. And also the beaches is something that I really like. I really like. So my campus was actually on the water, so I had access to like water like 24/7. So anytime I actually decided that I wanted to go out in the sun and just chill, we had a field that you can like people would just lay out on the grass just for no reason, just on a Tuesday,
just hang out.
Yeah, just hanging out. There was like water. There was like people jumping in the water. It was a lot of like activities that I've done like all of them. So
fair enough. Where's the best food spots? In both places. Where would you say if I'm coming over, you're like, yo, I need a bite to eat. Where am I going? Where are you sitting?
My personal favorite is Chipotle, Mexican restaurant. So,
okay. Chipotle fan. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that.
And that's both in Utah and Florida?
Yeah, there's the big hype about Chick-fil-A both like in both places, but that's not something that
You
in
didn't
my
get on that
yeah
bandwagon.
in my eyes it did not live up to the hype, so I just decided to stay
I'm,
off
I'm,
that.
I can see you there. We on the same level, man.
Okay, okay, okay.
I wasn't a big Chick-fil-A fan.
Yeah,
It's alright. It's
it's
alright.
just it's not the hype is not really.
Any local stuff? Any like local restaurants that
Uh,
really good to?
Not that I can think of right now. There was like Florida is just so much different just because of all the seafood that you can get. So like definitely if you go to Florida, definitely go to a seafood restaurant. Just so you can like taste like what like real fish that hasn't been sitting in the refrigerator for like 10 months. As like we get like if you live in the middle of like the country, like you won't get fresh fish. You'll get something that's been traveling for like a while. So if you like seafood, definitely go to a seafood place.
Yeah, being in New Mexico, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so there ain't no fresh food there.
Stay off that fish. Stay off
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I think we to get to the next body of water is like 8 hour drive. So yeah, there ain't nothing fresh going on over there. Cool, right. So where's the best place, either in Utah and Florida, the best place for you to get kicks?
Um, I've shopped in a couple different places. Online there's a lot of things that you can find online, and they're a lot more accessible to you as a person coming from Bulgaria. Just it's an eye opener how many places there are for you to get kicks. But Foot Locker is one of the most uh like famous places for you to go out and like basically see like what's new, what just came out, and um there's a lot of like apps that are more for like exclusive you know things that if you're not like one of the mainstream guys where you just like you want to just get what just dropped or just get the thing that's out in Foot Locker right now. you know I've found like apps like Poshmark, which is like a thing that is basically connects you to other sellers. There's the Goat app, which is kind of like more high end just because they make sure that the kicks that they sell are like verified, so they need to like be authentic and like be real for you to be able to even buy them or sell them. um you know the mall is always an option. You go to the mall, you got your Vans store, your Adidas, like you have like Foot Locker full of like Adidas and Nike shoes. You have like a couple other places for like any kinds of like kicks and like whatever you can think of. I believe that finding kicks is not a problem in the States.
Okay, okay. You didn't have a particular spot or person or whatever. There was no particular.
No, no, I've definitely found like I've shopped from like a lot of different places. I've found like if I find something that I like and it's a deal, like I'll get it. It doesn't matter how or from.
Okay. Best American holiday. So Thanksgiving, President's Day,
Um,
Christmas. What's the best?
let's see.
4th of July. What's the best holiday you can have?
When it comes to food, I want to say Thanksgiving, just because of the amount of food that you eat on that day. You get full, and you take to go plates for like 2 or 3 more days after that. Yeah. You don't get tired of it. You have food as a student athlete. It's a blessing. You go to somebody's house, and you leave with like 3, 4 plates for the rest of the week. So you're good on that. So I want to say Thanksgiving on that part, but um, let's see. I've only actually like celebrated 4th of July once. Like I actually like was in Utah. One of my teammates was like, "Yo, me and my family going to like watch like the fireworks up. Like you go up on this hill, like everybody just pulls out chairs and like just sits out there, just chills.
Mhm.
And then there's like a big like fireworks show, like a display, like right in front, like you were under it, and like it was cool. Like it was not like something that it it was memorable, definitely.
Okay.
What the holidays? I don't think they go all out on Christmas like in
Labor Day, I think Labor Day is another crazy one.
mm, yeah, not really.
Nah, not really. Okay, all right, no, all right. So Thanksgiving, the food and the reserves that you get, you pick up,
Yes,
pick up the extra ammo.
danger.
I got you. I definitely hear you. So being away from home for so long, you're out there for 4 years. Did you go home at 5 years? Sorry, did you go back and forth a lot?
Um, every summer, basically. I never went back for like Christmas breaks or anything. I would always stay out in the States. Um,
The Christmas break's short, especially if you're playing ball, right? You got tournaments and
yeah,
practices.
especially basketball is like one of the sports that's like very busy during that time. So like I think the longest Christmas break we've had, it was like 6 days, right? Like 5, 6 days. So if I take 2 days to go back and forth, like yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
you know,
Waste 2 days at home and then economical.
the money
How
I
did
went.
you how did you deal with being homesick? Was you homesick? And if you was, if you were, then how did
Um,
you deal with it?
I would say that being homesick is something that you kind of get used to it. I could definitely say that my first year when I was in England, I was away from home, was a lot like it was hard.
Hmm.
And first year I was in Utah was also like very like it was hard for me like as of like being homesick and missing home and trying to like go back and like see like parents or friends or whatever. But it's something that you get used to. I feel like it's something that you know you kind of start like figuring out ways where like you get in a routine where it doesn't include all the things that you're used to back home. You get into a routine where instead of seeing that friend back home, you have now another group of friends where like you can be like you can be yourself, or you can be comfortable with. And that feeling of being homesick kind of gets like it gets less and less like when time goes by. I feel like I was in the first year I was away, it was when I was in England.
Hmm.
And I believe I used to go back and forth like every maybe like 4 months or something like that. I believe that we had like breaks, and I feel like those 4 months were like 10 months. Like at that point, it felt like
Yeah.
it was long. But then after that, I went to the States, and I used to stay for 10 months, and it felt a lot shorter than that, just because I like once you get in your routine, and then okay, now we have like we start school, and then when games start is like a game like Wednesday and then Saturday and then Wednesday and Saturday, and then you get like into like a week to week like routine where you don't really have time to think about like
I miss
being
people back
busy.
home. Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. Talking about distractions, you're away from home. You're kind of obviously you've got your coach and the coaching staff and advisors, but you're kind of like on your own. You're in the world now. You're getting to of age, and there's a lot of distractions out there. And it could be girls, it could be drugs. No, like, did you come across those things, and how did
Definitely.
you deal with it?
There's something like that's a big part of just college experience. Once you mention that, you already know that there's like you are there with a certain kind of mission, but then at the same time, there's like couple thousand people with a whole different thing in mind. This is the first time they're away from their parents.
Yeah.
They're regular students. They don't have practice tomorrow, or they don't have like scheduled drug tests. So in their mind, the college experience is a lot different than in your mind. You're there to be like a student athlete, and you're supposed to hold yourself to a high standard. To like you should be accountable for like the things you do. One of my coach at D1 always said, don't think you're just a regular student, because everywhere you go, you may not know them, but people know who you are. It's kind of that idea needs to be in your head. Like if you're doing stuff, you need to know that if you're talking to girls, or you trying to be social, or you trying to like, whatever you're doing, you just need to know like what people are around you, and what they can lose and what you can lose with it. Definitely distractions. That's something that comes across, like, even if you want it or not, it's like it's there in your face, and it's kind of, you need to make a decision for yourself. If it's something that you need to be able to like walk away from these situations. It's kind of like they walk in a room, like they walk in a party or something. They might be 20 people over there. There might be like 10 people doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing, and like 9 people doing whatever they like, another 10 people that's doing like nothing. But at the end of the day, all 20 people in that room are gonna be like guilty of whatever. They're in that situation. So that's kind of like, a thing that, you should be able to like get control of, being able to walk away from situations where you feel like they might put your scholarship, your image, or your name in like some kind of like danger, or some kind of, some kind of place you don't want it to be. You need to be able to hold yourself up to like a high standard.
So what did you do? So let's take the drugs, for instance. What did you do? I don't know if how a scenario happened. I don't know whether it's like just in class or around campus or at a party or whatever, but I'm assuming that there's been opportunities for you to get hold of, or someone's offered you drugs or whatever it may be. What happened there in your experiences?
Definitely. I mean, I've been a part of situations where I've joined like a friend group, or something that I did not even have like idea what they're like, what they're like messing with, or I've been in situations where like, okay, like I have a whole different picture in my head of what the party's supposed to look like, and then you go over there and there's like stuff I don't want to be like dealing with. They're doing stuff that I don't want to, first of all, and then I am not trying to be a part of, even if like something goes down, like, I'm not trying to. So like, I definitely don't try to make it awkward. I'm not just gonna like turn around, like jump out the window just because, but like, I would stay there for like the shortest amount of time possible. I would probably just, try to like make an excuse to like go somewhere else, or just say like I have like something to do, or anything, just kind of like try to walk away from a situation like that.
Okay, cool. What about the girls now? Coming in from Bulgaria, you got a little accent. Do you know what I mean? You got the little beard thing going on. So how do you know what I mean? How did you deal with? Yeah. I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming that a lot of you being approached by girls a lot or whatever.
I wouldn't say approached by girls. I'm not like some kind of model or anything. I am from Bulgaria. I do have an accent, and girls do love that. But it's kind of like, it's up to you what you do with it. It's not like they're gonna be on your neck, like like dragging you to like stay, like not good. Please don't go to practice or anything. It's not like that kind of deal. You definitely need to know like who you're messing with. You definitely need to know the situation before getting into situations with like people, or like even like if you have interest with somebody or anything, you need to make sure like all the terms and conditions are right with that person. There's a lot that might come with like just being with one person that you just didn't know who she was, or like who he or she was beforehand. I definitely like recommend just take your time, just do what you gotta do. Like if you feel like it, do it, but just know that like not everything might be as it looks.
As it appears.
Just do your research.
That's real talk. I mean, you hear a lot of horror stories with guys and girls that get themselves into sticky situations, and some go way left. So
yeah, exactly.
taking the time out and trying to evaluate people's motives. I guess, yeah, definitely a great one. What is your last thoughts, your last bit of advice to the individuals that are trying to come over to the States and play ball, whether at D1 or D2? What information do you think that they should know? I might not have asked the question, but what's the biggest thing for you that you think that individuals should know?
I mean, for you to be successful, I feel like in a place going in as a student athlete, especially, I feel like it says it all on your shirt. That those are the three things that you need. Honestly, it's basically just getting the right mindset. It's having that dog mentality, even if it's for practices or if it's for studying or whatever it is. You need to have like a desire to excel at what you're doing. You need to have the desire to be early for practice. You need to stay late, like after the practice is done, or you need to manage your time. You need to have like that discipline for you to be able to wake up early in the morning and do like schoolwork, or just go do an individual practice, and then find time during that day to like get your schoolwork done for tomorrow or for the whole week. See, I'm a person who's never been able to like do work like schoolwork ahead, so I'm not gonna be like, yeah, do your work, the homework for the whole month. Like, I can't say that just because I haven't done it. But even if I'm like the biggest procrastinator, I still took time. Like, even if it's the night before, like I still took time and I made sure that the piece of work that I'm submitting is something that holds me to a high standard. It's something that it's not just, it doesn't look like something I typed up for 5 minutes and I just send it over just because, I want to get it done with. You need to like pay attention to that. And same goes with like basketball. If you're going to practice, or if you just shooting around in the gym by yourself, just don't go over there and shoot half court shots just because you feel like, just get on a gun, just do stuff with a purpose, kind of, do stuff that that will make you better. Do stuff that you're going to do in a game, or do stuff that your coach wants you to do. Just desire, just have that. You gotta have that. You gotta want it. That's all I gotta say. Like, if you're gonna go over there, you gotta want it, and you gotta just fight with everything that goes with it. Even if it's being homesick, even if it's being hungry, even if it's being like, you gotta be able to push through all that. And as a person who's like went through the process, I feel like those are the things that will get you through it, and make you graduate, and then you decide what you do with your life after that.
That was perfect, man. I like that. That was great. A great answer. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. It was really good, really inspiring, especially the transition from D1 to D2, and you persevering after the two injuries that were back to back. I think that's a big thing for listeners to understand, that hey, stuff happens, real life happens. You don't just get a scholarship and then that's it. Forever after, happy. You with a chip, and then that's it. You ride off into the sunset. So real life happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I really, really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
thanks for hanging with me. It was great to have you.
This is the EuroStepping.